place of prayer, carry me.
I worship you. I worship you.
Holy Spirit, carry me.
That causes us
To the place of power, carry me.
receive the grace of God. Receive the
Holy Spirit, help me now. Holy Spirit, carry me
mighty King. Thank you, mighty
to deep, deep waters. Carry me
wonderful King.
to realms of glory. Carry me.
Thank you so much, my viewer. Thank you because
Holy Spirit, carry me.
to connect to me.
Holy Spirit, guide me.
Today we are looking at financial insights. As I promised last Sunday, we shall keep on looking at those great financial insights that will be assisting us so that we can grow. The purpose of God of a Christian's life is definitely to succeed. It is definitely to succeed, especially in matters regarding money. And that is why I have purposed, because God has anointed me to speak about money, and because God has anointed me with the hands of business, I have actually purposed that I am going to be teaching people regarding issues of money. And that is why today I am very happy because of you joining me, so that we can be in a position to handle one or two things regarding money. Now, last time we talked about various types of incomes, and I spoke to you about them. And if you want to learn more about it, you can reference the last 7 days. You realize that I taught you about various sources of income. But today I told you I want us to move into the depths right now. I want us to build global businesses. We need to build global businesses. So if you have a question regarding business, I will be in a position to answer your questions, and therefore you can definitely even talk to me so that I can be in a position to see you. I can already see Moses Jogu is watching us. Thank you so much, man of God. Langat Amon and Nixon Cohen, I really appreciate you because of that. In case you have any particular kind of question, you are free to ask, and once you ask, then I will be in a position to answer as I teach you this particular kind of podcast. Now, building a global business. Now, if you need to get a Bible, biblical teaching regarding finances, there are so many areas that we require to know about finances. One of the things that you need to know about finances is in Luke chapter 19 and verse number 13. The Bible says, "So he called the 10 of his servants and delivered to them 10 minas, and said to them, do business until I come." Do business until I come. It simply means that we are supposed to keep on doing business until Jesus Christ comes. So it simply means that any Christian that is not in business should actually think about how to do business, because it is the intention of God that we keep on doing business, and not only over a short duration of time. It says, do business until I come. What that simply means, that business should have what we call perpetual succession. It should be built these generations. They are companies that have been established that go beyond one generation. One of them is General Electric, which has gone beyond generations. Another one is Ford. It has gone beyond many generations. And that is why we need to build those kind of companies that go beyond one generation. And you need also to understand that you shouldn't build a business that is actually meant to be a local one. Now, Jesus did not tell us to go into our locality. Jesus told us that go into all the world. Go into all the world. What that simply means is that we are meant to move into the entire world, preaching the gospel. So you can be sure that our businesses should be global businesses. And that is why today I am here to teach you a few things of how you can be in a position to make your business grow into becoming a global business. Now, I am also trusting God that given time and space, I will be in a position also to grow my businesses to be global businesses, because that is the intention of God over our lives. Now, there is one person that I love so much called Robert Kiyosaki. I call him also a man of God because I know he professes so many things regarding God. And I want you to understand that he has spoken about ways in which you can be in a position to earn income and to get money. And one of the ways that he has said you can be in a position to get money, it is you can get money through what we call employment. Employment is when somebody pays you a salary for the services that you offer to him. You sell somebody your time and you sell somebody your services, and then that person pays you some money instead. That is what you need to understand. Oh, there is what you can get as a result of employment. Employment is good. Reason is because it is in a position to provide you with job security and income security. And therefore, those people that always embark on that, they look for something that we call security. And security is very, very important. Every time you are assured that you get a paycheck at the end of the month, then it is very, very important for you. But you know that is not the end of the road. Also, employment is good because it gives you some income that you can be in a position to invest, and some income that you can be in a position to take in business. And that is why also employment is good. But you know, employment is bad because they cannot make you become rich. Now, we talked about some kind of incomes, and one of the income that we talked about is the menstrual income. And the menstrual income, we said it comes at the end of the month and it finishes only 4 days. And that is what you need to understand today, that many a times you get a lot of money, and once you get that money at the end of the month, after a short while it gets finished, and that is not the intention of God of our lives. We require to be people that actually growing into become. God gives you employment as a platform that will enable you grow riches and become very rich. Now, the second way Kiyosaki talks about it is self-employment. Self-employment, just like employment, it is also employment, only that you have employed yourself. Self-employment simply means you go and you begin a small thing, that a small business, and so many people call them sole proprietorship. And once you begin those small businesses, what happens is that you employ yourself. So instead of getting your salary, what you'll be doing is that you'll be getting your revenue, you'll be getting your money, you'll be getting your profit. Some of them eat even their sales, and once you eat your sales also, then that is a way in which you can be able to pay school fees for your child. That is the way in which you can be in a position position also to get some money that you can eat in your house and such kind of a things. It is simply, again, what we call self-employment. Now, people who go to self-employment, again, I want you to notice that these people always look for independence. There is what they look for, and that is what we call independence. And therefore, getting into self-employment simply wants you simply want that, I have somebody who has been supervising me to see and asking me for reports, but right now nobody is supervising you or asking you for reports, but you simply write reports at your own leisure and pleasure. And that is what we call self-employment. Somebody was asking you, why are you coming late in the morning? But as per now, you do not need to have somebody telling you to come. You are coming late for the work, but you definitely go at any time that you feel like. It is called self-employment. Now, the third form of business, the third form of income that you can get is the income from what we call investment. Investment is when you buy assets, and once you buy assets, and Kiyosaki has clarified and saying an asset is not what accountants call assets. Accountants call properties you own as assets, including vehicles, including cows, including whatever you own is an asset, including clothes, including houses. They call them assets. But you see, according to Kiyosaki, he says an asset is anything that brings more revenue, anything that will always bring more revenue. That one is what he calls an asset. And that is why you need to always know this, that many of us are actually saying that they have assets in form of cars, only to realize that those are not simply assets. They are not assets whatsoever. Those are liabilities. The reason is because they keep on consuming fuel and consuming your money. You take them for repairs, and instead of them being an asset, they are actually taking money out of your pocket, and therefore they merit to be called liabilities. Now, liabilities are debts that you owe according to them. Accounting thing. Now, you also need to understand that number 4 way in which Kiyosaki tells us that you can be in a position to draw your income is in business. And that is why we are talking about building global businesses today. You can get it from business. Now, business simply means an establishment that you make so that it can run without you, and so that it can give you some profit, where you do the selling and buying of goods at a profit. Now, every time you see a business bringing loss, then it ceases to become a business. A business must always bring profit. It must always bring profit. And therefore, if you cannot be in a position to count profit and to increase your wealth, then you can be sure that you are not in business at all. Now, that is why I keep on telling people that there are 3 parameters that are very, very important when it comes to business. That number 1, you need to keep on checking whether the business is bringing you profit. Whether the business is bringing you profit. Now, if the business is not bringing you profit, then you can be sure that is not a business. You are not in business, and you need to ask yourself, what can I do to revert this situation whereby I am not getting profit, and what can I do to revert this particular problem so that I can begin earning profit. That is the best thing that you can do to yourself. We also say that it is very, very important in a business that you also have cash. You need to always be sound, to have sound liquidity. Liquidity simply means that you have money. There are some businesses that make profit, but they cannot as well be in a position to pay their employees. Now, what is the profit for if you do not have money? Money should be be there for you to be in a position to say that you are in business. Because what is the reason of I being in business and I am not earning any money at all at all? I need to be able to earn money if at all I am in business. Because if I am in business that does not give me money, remember, money is what gives you the purchasing power. Money is what is in a position to assist you in doing one or two things. That is why businesses should give you money. You should keep on calculating what we call the current ratio, the current assets vis-a-vis the current liabilities. Current assets over current liabilities. Current assets are short-term assets. That means the money we have in the bank with the debtors, the money you have in the bank, the money you have at cash, the money that you have in form of stock. You earned all that money and then you divide by the short-term liabilities. The people that can ask you for the people that can be that can ask you for you owe them in a short run. That is what we call the current liabilities. If you divide those two, they should give you a ratio that is greater than 2. They should give you an answer that is greater than 2. If you do not have an answer that is greater than 2, then you can be sure that your business is not doing very well. It is like you have everything else, but you do not have money at all at all. Then we are also saying that your business should increase wealth. Your business should be in a position to increase wealth. When we talk about increasing wealth, then what are we talking about? We are talking about something that is very, very important that we call what? That we call capital. It should increase your net worth. Net worth is capital. Now, that simply tells me, now the capital that I invested, if I sell my business today, will I sell it at the same price as how I was able to buy it? That simply tells me that your wealth should grow. If I invest in 50,000 and I want to sell my business after 1 year, it should be not 50,000. It should be around 80,000 because the net income and the net profit that I have made could have increased my wealth, and that is something that you need to understand. A business must fulfill 3 S's. I usually call them 3 S's. And the first S is what I call systems or structures. It should fulfill 3 S's. If you are saying that I am in business, don't ever call those kiosks that you have a business. Those are self-employment. Don't ever call because you are selling goods, you are selling clothes, you are calling them a business. No, you need to satisfy these 3 S's. And the first S is what I have called systems. I have called structures. A system simply is a set of things that have a common goal. It simply means that every business must have a system, things that are working towards that business. That simply means that an employee is simply working for that particular business. That simply means that a manager is working towards that. That simply means that the vehicles that we have are working for the business, not for personal things. Those are simply the things that we call structures. Now, if you do not have structures, it is bad. Structure simply means that things should be mechanized, and that is where I see problems in business. You know, there are some people who are in business and they have some problems because he is the owner, he is the person who can open the business and close the business. It simply means that there are no structures there. If you have employees who can do that, a business should exclude the owner. If the owner, there must be a clear distinction between the owner and the business, and those are some of the things that we call structures. That means you should ask yourself those routine things that you do, like I wake up very early in the morning to open up my shop. Now, what will happen if one day I do not wake up and open my shop? It simply means I have to have a system that can assist me to be in a position to move and open up that shop, to be in a position to go, and that shop is open opened by another person. The structures must be mechanized. The structures must be well understood. The structures must be automated. You need to keep on automating those structures to a point whereby things work by themselves. Every time you find a business where things do not work by themselves, it is not a business. If you want to give a discount, how do you give it? Some of us will give a discount based on their thinking, but we require to know, even if the owner is not there. Because there is somewhere I went to buy some hardware materials, and when I went there, I asked, now, please can you help me, because I want to do what? I want to buy this, and I negotiated the price a little bit, and when I negotiated the price a little bit, I was told, let me consult the owner. That means the owner is the structure, the owner is the system, and therefore if the owner is the system, that business is not a business. You know what they should be. Even that employee should be in a position to know after negotiation, this is where we should reach. After negotiation, this is the far that we can go as far as that structure is concerned. The second thing is what we call sustainability. Sustainability is ability for the business to run by itself. The ability to run by itself. You know, many of us don't know that every business must be in a position to sustain itself. Now, there are some people who are in business, and every time they have to get their capital, they have to get their salary, they are working elsewhere, and they have to keep on pumping money and pumping money and pumping money into that particular business, and the capital does not increase, the stock does not increase, the money they have in the bank does not increase. It is simply means that that business is not sustaining itself. I remember that there are some people who used to shave us very long time ago, and the business was not going under, neither was their business increasing. They never had two shaving machines, and neither did they run out of the machine. Reason is because what they were getting is actually they were pumping some money which was not making any profitable increase and increment of their wealth in the business. That is why you need to ask yourself, is my business sustaining itself? Can I be in a position to have my employees actually getting paid by the business? Some of you are actually making money for other people. You are working elsewhere, and therefore, because you do not have money to pay your employee, your business is not paying your employees. What happens is that you keep on going back into your pocket, into your bank account, so that you can actually pay your employees. That one is running business wrongly. It is running business in a way that is not worthy. Running business in a way that God does not intend us to run business. A business must be in a position to run itself. And I usually say that there are several good ratios and several good signs that can tell you that the business is running well. And one of the signs that can tell you the business is running well, it is when your earnings keep on growing. Every time your earnings or your profit keep on growing, then it simply means that your business is sustainable. You know, some of us, your earnings do not increase. Your business does not increase in earnings, and therefore we can tell that your business does not actually run well. Ask yourself, what net profit? Now, the second thing that you need to keep on asking yourself, it is the sales. Now, we call it the top line. The top line. You ask yourself, now, the sales for the last year, the sales for last year but one. If I sold 100 last year but one, last year I sold 150. This year I sold 200. It simply shows that I am progressing well in sales. Let me amaze you. There is no business when sales is not there. The most important department in any particular business is the sales department. If you do not have anything in the sales department, you are not making a sale, then automatically you are being sacked. The only person that can sack you out of business without a notice and without a warning letter is actually the client, and that we shall be talking about such details later as we continue with this particular broadcast of financial insights. And therefore, what I am actually saying is you need to check the sales. If the sales is not growing, if it is stagnant, or if it is going under, then it simply means that what is happening is that the business is becoming not sustainable. You also need to look at something that we call the cash flow growth. The cash flow growth simply means that whether the cash you have in the bank is continuing to grow, the bank balances, the cash flows, the inflows and the outflows, you need to keep on looking at them. And we usually consider a very important thing that I'll teach you later, and which is called free cash flows. If you know how to draw the cash flow statements, and if you are not an accountant, there are some accountants that draw for you the cash flow statements. The most important kind of financial statements you need to have is the income statement that shows your income versus your expenses. The second one is what we call the balance sheet that shows your assets vis-a-vis liabilities. And the third important one is the cash flow statement, which shows your cash inflows versus your cash outflows. It is a very important. You need always to ask that from your accountant. Now, in the cash flow statement, there is what we call the cash flows from operations, which should actually be almost from the profits, and that you have investing activities, cash flows from investing activities. If you have that and cash flows from investing activities, then automatically if you subtract cash flows from investing activities from cash flows from financing activities, then definitely what you get, it is something that we call cash flows that are free. That is what you can eat in the business. That is what you can be in a position to consume in business. That is what you can be in a position to use and give your in-laws. All that is free money, and you can be in a position to do that. Another particular form of thing that shows that your business is sustainable, it is simply what we call the return on investment. Return on investment simply is the ratio of your profit vis-a-vis what is actually what you invested in the business. How much capital did you keep in the business? Now, if you hand some particular kind of capital and you hand it in business, and it is the profit you are getting is very small, then that one does not guarantee your money back. A good business should give you your money back. It simply means if I invest 100 million in purchasing a building, a hotel, and I realize that the hotel is giving me only 100,000, then 100,000 divided by 100 million, it simply tells me that that is the thing that I will be in a position to get the length of years that I shall be in a position to recoup back my profit. It is called sustainability, ability of a business to move by itself. Another thing that you check in business, it is the debt. There are some debts, there are some businesses that are highly indebted, and we call them, they are highly geared, they are highly indebted, they have a lot of debts. Now, for them to be in a position to buy stock, it is debt. For them to be in a position to sell, it is debt. For them to be in a position to advertise, it is debt. For them to be in a position to pay the employees, it is debt. Now, if you are highly indebted, then that business is definitely not sound. And that is why we need to actually be in a position to do that. Then also the third S that I'll talk about, and I believe that is where I'll end for today, it is what we call scalability. Scalability is that ability of a business to grow, ability of a business to diversify, diversify. You need to keep on asking yourself, how can this business grow? Now you look at so many other factors, among them, what are you selling? What is the product that you have? Like I ask myself if at all I am selling what? I am actually selling the caskets that bury people. Now it simply means that even if I want to sell more, I cannot be in a position to sell more because my business is controlled by nature. And that is why it is important that you understand that some of the things that you need to be very, very careful when selecting, and I'll teach you that could be next Sunday, when you are selecting a business, is that ability to grow. You need to ask yourself, is my business able to grow? Now you can grow business using two strategies and two main strategies. I know those people that do strategic management understand these two strategies, and one of the strategies that you can do is what we call red ocean strategy. Red ocean strategy is when you fight in the existing market with the existing products. You keep on fighting and fighting and fighting. I would recommend you to read something that we call Ansou's matrix. If you read that, you understand more about competition. Now what happens is that you in a red ocean strategy, you are where you are, selling the things you are, and you fight it out with the people that are players in that particular industry for you to be in a position to make it in your business. But many people prefer that. That is why you have price wars. That is why you have some bit of strategies that hurt even the competitors, and sometimes it doesn't work very well. So it is very, very important that you do not you know whether you are going to employ the red ocean strategy or not. The second particular strategy is what we call the blue ocean strategy. Blue ocean strategy is where you launch into new waters, launching into the deep. Now if you read the book of Luke chapter number 5, you realize what Peter was told. He was told by Jesus, you know, he said, we have been here throughout the night and we have been trying to get fish in Luke chapter number 5, and we toiled throughout the night and we got nothing. And therefore he was told by Jesus, please can you launch your net into deeper waters. Launch your net into deeper waters. Launch your net into another particular place. That is what he was told. I think is in Luke 5 and verse number 5 there. Launch your net into deeper waters. That is what he was told. But he said, Master, we have actually toiled all night and caught nothing. So you can be sure that God intends you to launch into deeper waters, into deeper waters, into deeper waters. Please have some blue ocean strategy, and that one will be in a position to assist you in one way or another. Now you'll allow me, my technical crew, to answer a few questions that have been asked here. I can see there are several people. Mother Mukanyika has joined, Julius Karani watching to be equipped, and Kamutin Joel, you join. Then Ken Kwenja is asking this way. He's asking, how much capital is needed to start a business? How much capital is needed to start a business? Now that one is determined by the kind of business that you want to begin, and because different businesses will require different capital. So how much we may not really be in a position to tell. It is also determined by the strategies that you have. And also the capital, you can get it from various sources. One of the sources, you can get it from friends. So if you get it from friends or from your own savings or from other sources, so it also depends with how much you can be in a position to get. So that one I may not really be in a position to advise, because different businesses will require different capitals. Thank you so much, Amon Rangat, because of summarizing what we have, that a business contains 3 S's: systems or structures, sustainability, and it contains scalability. Now thank you so much. I don't think that we have any other question. In case you have any other question, you can actually relate to us, and we'll be in a position to solve all your business issues. We will talk about the nitty-gritties of starting the business, running the business, managing the businesses, analyzing financial statements. All those things we will be in a position to handle them in this particular podcast, and you'll be blessed in one way or another. And I know for sure our businesses will have to grow. Never start anything that you'll be ashamed of saying it is your business. Begin something that is called a global business, and once you do that, it will be good for us. Otherwise, God bless you. I want to stop at that, because we need to keep on learning, and we cannot exhaust everything for today. Can I pray for you because I am a pastor? Yes. Now, Father, in Jesus' name, I am praying for these business people that are watching me, and I am declaring that it shall be well with them. Help them with good strategies so that they can grow their businesses to the level in which you want them to go. In Jesus' precious and mighty name, we have prayed. Amen. Amen, and God bless you. May his face shine upon you. Until next Sunday, same time. Amen.